Namaste. We were discussing the book by BBC journalist Greg Pelast, How to Steal an Election in 9 Easy Steps. I was explaining how Michael Connell, the brilliant software programmer, wrote software programs to identify anti-Bush voters through their posts on Facebook and matrimonial websites and dating websites. I was explaining how Michael Connell identified 60,000 anti-Bush voters. Their names were systematically, properly, methodically deleted, purged from the voters list. This was done because the task of preparing the voters list was outsourced to a company called Sproul and Associates. Since it was a private company doing it, they deleted the 60,000 names. I was also explaining to you that the EVMs for the 2004 elections were supplied by the cousin of George Bush, Odell. So, although some men did say it was a conflict of interest, that the cousin of the incumbent president contesting re-elections cannot supply the EVMs, that was squashed down. The company that was supplying the EVMs, even Diebold, the company refused to divulge the software that was being used, saying it was copyrighted and trademarked and proprietary. So, on the day of counting in 2004, Kerry was leading. Kerry was clearly leading. But then what happened? You can go check this. For 1 hour between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the election website crashed. Every election website telescreen went blank. For 1 full hour, the election website completely crashed. When the election website was restored at 2 a.m., suddenly Bush had a lead of 118,000 votes. How did this happen? This happened because a chip was uploaded into the mainframe of the election website by Michael Connell. Michael Connell did that. He was brilliant. He hacked into the election website of the United States of America with inside help, and he gave the lead to George Bush. And for him to do that, he needed 1 hour. So between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the website crashed. At 2 a.m. when it was restored, magically George Bush suddenly got a lead of 118,000 votes. Now, obviously this was suspicious. Obviously this was extremely suspicious. So, a very, very brave attorney, extremely brave, courageous lawyer by name, attorney Cliff Arneback, decided to file a case in the court. Cliff Arneback did file a case in the court. He demanded an impartial inquiry into electoral malpractices. And to cut a long story short, he somehow convinced Michael Connell to testify. And to cut another long story short, Michael Connell did agree to testify. Karl Rove also helped Cliff Arneback, but Karl Rove simply said, "Ask me anything you want. I will tell you the truth, but it's all off the record. Don't make notes, don't quote me anywhere, and don't call me to court. I'll tell you everything, but don't quote me and don't call me to court." So Karl Rove also spoke to Cliff Arneback, but Michael Collins had agreed to testify. Michael Collins was willing to come to court and testify to, number one, how he identified anti-Bush voters via Facebook, how he identified anti-Bush voters via dating and matrimonial websites and Twitter and other social media, how he supplied these names to Sproul and Associates, the company that was, making the voters list. He still had a copy of the 60,000 names that he had submitted. And if you compare his 60,000 names to the voters list, then you would find these 60,000 names that he had submitted, those exact 60,000 names would be missing. In banking terms, this is called Siamese insurance. People who write such software programs usually keep a copy of the list. So Michael Connell had a copy of the 60,000 names. More than anything else, Michael Connell was willing to testify that he was responsible for the United States of America election website to crash from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. And in that intervening 1 hour from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., when the election website had supposedly crashed, he had manipulated data and made George Bush go up, which is why when the website came back at 2 a.m., Bush suddenly had a lead of 118,000 votes, which was not there up till 1 a.m. Michael Connell had agreed to testify to all of this. In fact, Cliff Arneback even told the judge his life is in danger. He is testifying against the President of the United States. His life is in real danger. The judge agreed, but Michael Connell died in a mysterious accident. Accident. Remember all those Hollywood movies? Just like that. He was piloting his own plane. He was an experienced pilot. He used to routinely, regularly pilot his own plane. Engine malfunction, system malfunction, weather deterioration, bird hit, everything happened to him. And Michael Connell died just 3 days before he was to testify. Not that attorney Cliff Arneback gave up. No, despite the murder of his star witness, Arneback wanted to pursue the case. He pursued the case also. He took it up, and then the judge ordered to cut. I can give you the whole case details some other day if you want it. Get back to me. I'll give you the whole case details. But the judge ordered that the court wants to see every vote from every individual EVM. The judge clearly said, submit the list of votes from every individual EVM. I want to see the count of every individual EVM. And guess what? This is true. Read the book. This is what this is what the United States government replied. They said the disks containing the data had been given to Greens by mistake for recycling. The entire data, voters per EVM, had been stored, and all those hard disks had been mistakenly given away for recycling. What about the backup? They had taken only one backup due to space shortage, and that backup was lost in the floods. So the original data has been recycled and the backup data has been lost to the floods. How believable is that? How to steal an election in 9 easy steps. Please read the whole book. What I'm telling you is just the tip of the iceberg. This book will give you so many malpractices. Anything that the CIA does to put their own man in the White House. You can read a lot about different companies. Every democratic country owes it to Michael Connell and to attorney Cliff Arneback to pursue this case and to pursue rights for democracy. You don't have to go to Iran to fight for democracy. You don't have to go to Afghanistan or Syria and Lebanon to fight for democracy. You really want to fight for democracy? Stand up for Michael Connell. Find out why he was murdered and find out how voters lists are purged and find out how election websites crash, and when they come alive, somebody suddenly takes a lead. The whole world, every democratic country, especially USA, owes it to Michael Connell and his soul to find out what went wrong. Thank you.